assalamu alaikum, good morning, khush amdeed, ji ayanu, goeiemorgen.
Bagheer ni hao, Tunishme, Washmale, Ohio, Gonzaimes, Guten Morgen, Hola, Bonjour, Privyet, Kaifahal, Hale Shamat Chatore, Ahlan Wasalan Maraba, Buna, Mucho, Gracias, Fabio, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning on a very fine, sunny, well, not really very sunny morning over here in Islamabad, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the studios with me. I have the very lovely, the very amazing, the very talented Shiza Hashmi. Hello, Shiza. How are you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely great. Thank you so much for asking. What about you?
Well, I think I'm doing great too as well. I think that the kind of weather it is these days, I think it's perfect. It's superb. And everybody feels like going outside as well. So today, ladies and gentlemen, it happens to be 12 degrees centigrade.
Is it?
Outside, yes.
Nice.
And yeah, so it just feels wonderful. You do not actually have to cover yourself quite a lot. You do not have to wear a lot of clothes to protect yourself from the cold. But you know, while the weather is changing, while we are having this transition from winters to summers, please make sure that you stay very careful because it can get a little colder and can get a little hotter too as well. So within that transition, we do not want anybody to get flu or anything other than that.
Absolutely. Fluctuating weather can usually and always does actually cause a lot of trouble for people, people like me as well. But you know, Shazad, this weather, while it is so stunning, I just feel like we're now headed towards the summer and I hate summer, to be honest.
Well, I literally do not hate summer because I think all of this time where I've been going to the gym, I've been waiting for summer so that I can wear some t-shirts, you know, flaunt my muscles a little
Summer
bit
bod?
as well. Yeah. You know, but other than that, I think, summers, it does get a little hard, but I think for people who keep themselves hydrated and people with deep pockets, you know, who can actually run the air conditioners 24/7 are going to be very relaxed. But other than that, people like me and you, we might have to struggle during the day. But at night, I think we can afford an air conditioner.
Exactly, right? Like one part of the day for sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is something I feel like I need to speak about. So Shazad, you know how a lot of people, I think also it's only natural if a tragedy hits someone. A person, you know, usually spends all of his life, a lot of years of his life, thinking, why me? Where did I go wrong, right? And in so many cases, the person is not even faulty. It's just unfortunate that things happen to you. So if you're in a similar situation and if you cannot just pinpoint where you went wrong, you didn't go wrong. I just want you to today, you know, take this day and realize that it's not you who went wrong. There's nothing wrong with you and your personality or things like that. If someone wronged you, that, you know, that specific person who wronged you, it's really about their upbringing. It's really about their own mentality and whatnot. So I don't think, you know, I know it's really easy for me to say, but for people who are going through it, it's hard for them to pull out of it. But really, please think about it. Life is really too short. Why do you want to spend so many years or months, you know, crying over thinking about someone who was not worth it?
Someone? Oh.
Yeah, anyone. Because people wrong people, Shazad, on so many levels. Even in offices, I'm just saying.
No, I second you, I second you. Come on. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Shiza, for bringing up this point. And I think that this is one of those points where people actually fail to realize that, you know, for somebody's action, you're not the one who's answerable.
Exactly.
And I think on these terms, what I've always done in my life is that I always think about all of those things which I can do by my hand within my own capacity. And if there's something which is not, you know, which I'm not capable of doing, all I can do is pray to Allah Almighty. I don't think about it. And I think that's the way how you actually need to pray as well, with all of that faith, with all of that belief that, okay, Allah Mia, you know, this is beyond me. Please make sure that, you know, I get this project or, you know, whatever it is. And even now, you know, if my hands are up there, I think I'm going to ask Allah for everybody's peace who are out there, for all of those people who tuned into our television channel as well, which is PTV World. May you all, be good. May you all have whatever you want. And one last thing before we move on to our topic, and that is that never compare the blessings which Allah has bestowed upon you with any other person, because Allah might have blessed him or her in a very different way which you cannot see. So never compare your blessings. And I think the person who never compares his blessings with another one, I think they are the happiest as well. So please make sure to write it in your rule book and adopt this rule.
Absolutely. And Shazad, I just feel like, I mean, we cannot, even if we try to, we cannot really decipher the plan of Allah, right? So might as well just leave it unto him. But now, Shazad, I'm going to take you back to when we were in school and ask you, what was that one thing that you absolutely hated about school?
Going to school. Yeah, I think that's what I hated.
I hated homework, homework.
Yeah,
because I did enjoy classes, to be honest. I did enjoy learning and everything. But bringing the work back to my home,
No, but I don't think that I've ever done homework in my life. I think the only thing I've done is just attend classes and just do whatever kind of work I was given within the class. You know, maybe the summer vacation homework, maybe the daily homework. I've never done it. I'm very sorry.
Okay.
I'm saying it. I'm not very proud of
Don't
it,
learn from him
but
though.
I don't get the concept of homework. Because we're going to school to do some work and to learn. Why do we actually have to bring our homework back
That's my
again at home
point.
and then learn again all over again? I mean,
That's my
so then,
point.
well, why were the teachers there? I think it was the teachers' duty. But these days, ladies and gentlemen, this is a reality. A lot of kids have opted for tuitions, they go to academies. And not just that, I think that the worst part is that for all of those teachers who teach within the schools on daily basis have these tuition centers, and they actually convince
Right.
those students to come to their tuition centers all for money. But now things are changing.
Yes, absolutely, that is true. So, ladies and gentlemen, we know that our premier right now is really focusing upon, knowledge-based economy as well, and he's really promoting digitalization as
Yes.
well. Remember, just this was last month where he
Yeah.
was speaking to all the major influencers in Pakistan, because he does realize as a modern man that this is where the world is headed. So, in
Exactly.
terms of anything, be it commercial purposes or be it anything at all for your entertainment, for your education, I think digitalization is the way forward.
Exactly. And ladies and gentlemen, just imagine, I think I'm going to give you a very fair analysis from back in times when we had libraries and we had to go and look for other topics as well.
Right. And wait for the book to be available.
Imagine today's library is Google.
Oh, yeah.
And not just that, think about encyclopedia, going, buying 7 bindings of like encyclopedia, bringing it back home and then learning from it. Imagine we have Wikipedia. So,
Right.
I think everybody needs to transform alongside these lines as well, because now this is the way forward. And not just that, over here schools, private schools, they're developing their own applications so that students can learn easily, and so that they have accessibility over the kind of courses the schools are teaching, so that they can learn from home. It's not really necessary to be in the class.
Right.
And not just that, one more thing, and that is that even the civil service exam, which is the most prestigious exam over here in our country, you can get online classes, there are online tutorials, whatnot. But now, ladies and gentlemen, there is a concept of blending learning,
Yeah.
blended learning.
Blended
Now,
learning.
when we talk about blended learning, it's like you saw the tutorial on YouTube, and now you're going to go to the classroom, and that's
Right.
where you do your homework. So I think, in a way, I think we have shifted the roles. So earlier we used to go to the classroom, get the lecture, come back home and do the homework without any supervision. So we might be wrong at times, while we were solving problems. But now, so you look at the tutorial, you listen to the teacher on the YouTube channel, you go to your classroom, and then you ask your teacher over there as well that, okay, so this is what I understood. If there's something wrong, you can teach me. So it's
Absolutely.
like we're taking 50% of the online education and 50% of
Sort
the
of a
classroom
hybrid.
education and blending them together as well, which is blended learning. And today, ladies and gentlemen, to speak about it, we have a very apt guest. They have their own project as well. We will talk about that. But first of all the W's, why, where, when, what, why is it important? Why do we have to do it? When did people start to do things this way as well? And our producers every day, ladies and gentlemen, they keep on telling us that you guys talk a lot, but I think that whatever we were saying made sense.
Of course.
Yes. So now, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we actually have somebody who's actually the digital learning advisor from Learning Well. He's the CEO of Learning Well himself. He's none other Mr. Rashid Muhammad. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum salam. I'm fine. Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you. It's superb to have you over here on the show as well. And for the we did touch upon these topics, but we never discussed blended learning itself.
Right.
So let me ask you, what is blended learning?
Blended learning basically is when you divide your learning process into two. One is the traditional classroom setting, face-to-face kind of learning, and
Okay.
then that is added with online, on the computer, through internet learning.
Yeah.
When you blend the two, it becomes blended learning. This is the simplest or the basic definition of blended learning.
Okay.
Then we take it to the next level, which you just talked about, which is flipped classroom. In a flipped classroom, what happens is that a teacher gives the lecture to the student to be viewed at home.
Yeah.
He watches that lecture at home, comes to school, and does his homework in the school. Because think about it, the time that you need the teacher the most is when you're doing your homework.
Yeah.
And when at that time the teacher is not available.
Yeah.
So you go for private tuitions, you go for academies, coaching
Right.
centers, etc. So that is flipped, and the student comes to the class and does the homework, and the teacher goes around the class and sees that who is having difficulty and addresses that difficulty rather than giving a standard lecture and only caters to the brightest in the class.
All right.
So you bring the backbenchers to the front.
All right. So this is sort of, when we're talking about it, this is sort of a very great initiative, first of all.
Yeah.
And then
Thank
when
you.
you're sort of including everyone, like you mentioned, the backbenchers are now coming to the front
Yeah.
as well, customized learning. Because when you say you're taking the homework to your home as well, there are ABC questions that everyone has to do, answer dhunde is paragraph mein se, that thing happening.
But when, B for ball. Yeah.
Exactly. But when you're watching a video, first of all, a visual medium is the most effective, right?
Yeah.
And then when it is personalized on your own desktop and you're watching it, this is just for you.
Yeah.
First of all, you feel important as a student, that this person is really willing to teach you.
Yeah.
And then the next day you can actually customize your queries and ask in person. That is, I feel like, a great initiative.
You see, in Pakistani perspective, these are the issues that generally we feel for or we see in more developed countries. But in Pakistani perspective, the issue and the problem is much, much bigger than that.
Okay.
See, our educational ecosystem comprises of the investor, the school, the student, the teacher, and the parents.
Yeah.
Problem here is that the parents are not able to pay the right amount of fee to the school.
Okay.
School cannot engage the right quality of the teachers because they do not get as much as they need. And in the end, the delivery of the lecture, the quality of that delivery suffers. We have
just because of the fact that the parents are not able to pay the right amount of money.
Absolutely, because see, I mean, pure mathematics, economics. If a teacher is getting 20,000 rupees a month, he has a better opportunity. If he's a good teacher, he has a better opportunity in corporate sector.
Yeah.
So he would move out to corporate sector, and the schools will be left with probably not that quality, except a few elite schools.
Okay, so there's a disagreement. I'm sorry that I'm interjecting, but then I think that it's not the parents. I think it's the schools who are not paying the teachers well.
Exactly, I agree
because
with
that. Because I'm talking in context of private schools, I'm not talking about public schools. Obviously, public is a very different sector, and it's a very different arena. The ball game is very different over there. Everybody's a government employee, so they get according to their scale. So we have to come down to private school to discuss about that as well. I think every day, for example, if there's 30 students in one class, and if one parent, roughly on average, a private school fees is somewhere around 22 or 23,000 rupees a month.
Monthly.
So imagine that one class will actually make how much?
Oh, you are talking about the elite schools.
No, okay.
But
So
majority
okay,
of
so you're
if I can give you some statistics, there are almost 18,000 schools in Karachi city.
Okay.
Out of them, 6,000 so-called English medium schools charge less than 800 rupees a month.
Really?
Okay.
Yes, and
where are those schools?
These schools.
But then what you're saying is that if the schools are charging less than 800, it's the school's fault. It's not the parents' fault. And because that's what the school is asking for. So if the school is asking for only 800 rupees, which we are definitely, not doing justice with the topic, but we have picked up on.
Yeah,
I think it's the school asking for lesser amount of money. And the only thing why school is actually asking for lesser money is because they know that their largest sector or the largest segment of the society cannot afford to give 21,000 rupees a month.
Yeah, no, but that...
We are going into another, we are digressing.
I get that, we're drifting away.
Think about it, that you already have about 20 million kids not going to school.
Yes.
And if these so-called schools are also not there, then another 10, 12 million will be out of school.
But that's great. Now let's leave this
come back
debate.
to
And let's come back. So I've got two questions for you. Now the first one is, you can make us understand, because you're one of those people who advise on digital learning as well, and how we can do things. Now for all of those kids, ever since there's been this criteria that you go to school, then you have to come back, you have to do your homework. If you have to do your homework, which means that you cannot complete your work within the school, don't you think that the courses the schools are teaching are lengthy, first of all, and that they really need to be shortened a little bit as well, so that whatever the kid needs to do, he or she does it in school? The other part which I want to talk about is that when we speak about digitalization, we see that there are these fancy projects, there are projectors, there are these fancy slides, and all new ways of showing you the content. There's no change in the content, but there are changes in the way we are showing the content. Do you think that will actually help us
addressing
to move
the first
towards
question, which is very, very important, that how much is the right amount of education or knowledge that we need to give? It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. I'm sure you must have seen kids telling you, do ka pahada, 2 ones are 2, 2s are 4, 2
Yeah.
6, 2
Duni,
3s are
duni,
6.
do, duni,
Now
cha.
what is this 2s are 3s are 4s are?
Yeah.
This is basically, I mean, grammar apart,
Yeah.
this is basically rote learning, because they do not understand what they are saying. They are just memorizing what they are saying,
Right.
and they, it's only information, it's not knowledge. Information becomes knowledge when you understand.
Okay.
And if somebody who doesn't know that 2 2s are means 2 sets of
Right.
2 different
Right.
things,
Yeah.
then at the beginning, if you are memorizing mathematics, when you reach calculus and at that level,
You're
then
gone.
obviously there's nothing. So it's not about the volume that you are throwing upon the
Yeah.
kids, it's the quality of the teaching, quality of the delivery.
Exactly.
And that's where this digital learning helps, because you are democratizing education, you are giving the same quality of lecture to a person, to a kid sitting in Bonaire or sitting in
Right.
Karachi, sitting in Lahore or in Toba Tek Singh, wherever. So across the board, you give the same quality to all kids. It is accessible to them all the time, so they can repeat it, to see it again, watch it again, understand the concept. And when they go to the school, the teacher is there to further help them in clarifying the concept. So it's all about conceptual learning.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, the other thing that is happening in the world is that with this advancement in medical science, lives are getting longer and longer, lifespan is getting longer.
Right.
And there's rapid change in technology, so jobs are changing.
Yeah.
In Islamabad alone, there are about 15,000 Kareem drivers. In 2 to 3 years or maybe 5 years, you'll have driverless cars.
Yes.
So these 15,000 people will go jobless.
Jobless,
They need to
absolutely.
learn something new. And if they do not have that concept of self-learning, if they are a product of 2 2s are 4 and 2 3s are 6, they will not be able to self-learn anything.
So that's great. So
Right.
now moving towards the second question, which I asked, that we are only changing the medium through which we were sharing content, but the content is the same. But when we talk about digitalization, I would actually want to see, for example, when I went to a university in England, just for a tour, and I was visiting a class, I could see that they were trying to teach students through 3D visualization as well, where they, for example, if it was a brain, they will dissect it just on the slides as well. The pieces will go apart, and they will show them that, okay, this is the nerve which is most important, something of that sort. That's something which I haven't seen so far in the education system in Pakistan for better understanding of the students.
We are trying to do this, but obviously 3D videos are heavier and more expensive to make. But a few things in 3D we are trying to do. Generally, we are doing 2D, and we are trying to explain the concept as much as using those technologies.
Okay.
This is the first step. Going second step could be 3D, and then could be VR, and could be much more than that.
Augmented reality.
Exactly. So, but what we are trying to do today is reach the masses, reach the remote areas of the country, and try to deliver the same quality of lecture to them, rather than doing something really extreme technology for a small number of people.
Right.
So it's basically the outreach which we are working on, rather than kind of technology and using the
Content.
the kind of elite technology, if I may say, because obviously VR would not be available to all. It's an expensive technology, even if you use Google's.
But we can have a device or two, and then we can probably bring in classes so that after one student, the other one can actually experience it as well. But I think the experience needs to be there.
Shazad, the volume of the problem is so big. When you have 20 million kids out of school,
but
is
we
one
have
thing.
to start somewhere, no?
Yeah, so that's why we are trying to start at the basic and go into the field, and then see that what are the challenges there, and then based on the feedback we try to improve it further.
All right, but here's the thing, when you mentioned that how some kids just know by heart that 2 2s are 2, and stuff. So the thing is, if the teacher is no 2 2s are 4. All right, I didn't learn that. So here's the thing. So if I feel like that's the teacher's responsibility to make them understand, there are 2 sets of 2, and if you can combine them, what happens? So my question being, when we are literally like now trying to rush towards digitalization, although we should have started earlier though, But I feel like it's a much bigger pressure on the teachers, because now that earlier we used to go,
Absolutely.
like Shazad mentioned, to libraries looking for certain books and whatnot, looking for our teachers to make, understand things and stuff. But now we have everything on the expense of our own phone.
Yeah.
So the teachers should actually be up to date with knowledge every other day so that they can actually be at the status of the teacher. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So are we looking towards any teachers training programs as well?
This is actually the main issue, and schools are not able to spend on teachers. So what we have done is that we have set up a separate website for specifically for teachers training. That's not purely blended. That's only online learning, but we expect that teachers would go there and build their capacity, and practically it is for free. We don't charge for that. They just need to come to us, contact us, and then we'll make it free for them.
Okay.
Okay.
But that's the main issue, and we have our sharp focus on teachers training, and we are developing a capacity building program for the teachers, which would be an online program, and we hope that our remote area teachers and teachers in the schools where schools are not able to spend on their training, those will take benefit of that. So yeah, we have started working on that as well.
Okay, that's great news.
And that's great, and that's reassuring as well. But ladies and gentlemen, there's another advantage of online learning, or e-learning as we say, or telecommunication e-learning. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that the benefit over here is going to be for everybody. For imagine that we've actually been speaking about inclusive education for all, and whenever we talk about inclusive education, just imagine that people probably were born with Down syndrome, or people who are disabled, who cannot go to the schools, or the schools do not allow them to study with all the other kids. Imagine that they can learn the same course by sitting at home, and I think that this is one of the most important things which we needed to do. But one more thing, and that is that whenever we speak about e-learning, whenever we speak about blended learning, there's this one project of yours with the name of Kitab, if I'm not wrong.
And that's not ours.
Okay, that's not yours, but
Yeah.
there's this project.
Yeah.
How does that project help people in learning?
See, I'm not aware of the details of Kitab
Yeah.
project, but any digital project that basically helps in bringing those who are not able to get the most out of the classes to that level. You mentioned kids with special needs. These, I mean, the next level of technology that we are going to use is by analyzing the data that how much time a student has spent on a particular type of questions, whether he was attempting it right or wrong. The psychiatrists can tell us that this kid probably has some challenges, maybe autism, maybe something else, and we can help in early diagnosis of those, and can then help the kids to come up to the speed by using some different methods and different support systems.
All right.
So yes, inclusivity is very much possible through using technology, and we are also working in that direction.
All right, that is great. Now I want to talk about online courses and really appreciate the fact that, well, we're living in 2020, first of all. A person living in Pakistan can actually attain a degree from Harvard at the expense of his own laptop. Wow. That is amazing to believe in, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But when we're talking about digitalization again, is it possible in the future with your initiative Learning Well, or probably with any other, that persons like me, for example, if I choose let's say if I choose economics to study for my bachelor's, that is 4 years. There are certainly certain credit hours that I have to complete, but so many courses to choose from that teachers choose from. So can we individually, me and my class fellow, fill those credit hours with our own choice of subjects through the learning management systems?
That is absolutely possible, and that's how some people are planning to implement it. That's the university level.
Right.
We are trying to do the same at school level.
Okay.
See, there are various learning management systems, but most of them work in isolation. The curriculum is independent of the LMS. LMS is using some other content which is not related to curriculum. I mean, what we are doing here is in Pakistan is that we have taken the federal and provincial curricula, and we have built the content according to those curricula. Our books are developed on that, and then we have lesson by lesson table of content.
Okay.
That's probably the only company doing this in the world, by the way. Otherwise, you find the publishers separately doing it, and these the IT companies doing the content separately. So what you are saying is that yes, we need to make it easy for the students to pick and choose what they want and complete the credit hours. At university level, yeah, it is possible, but university probably is um, going out of fashion, maybe for some some fields.
Yeah, yeah.
As I said, that the technology is changing, new jobs are coming, and we do not even know that what kind of jobs will be there 10 years down the road.
Yeah,
So no university can
absolutely.
prepare you for something that nobody knows.
Exactly.
So you have to develop yourself as a self-learner.
Absolutely.
Gone are the days when you earn one degree and then rest of your life you
Yeah.
earn on
Sorted.
that
Yeah.
degree.
But those were the simple days as well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you very much for saying that. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, this is a wake up call for everybody as well. That for whatever we've learned, there are points in life where you have to unlearn and then learn again.
Relearn,
So
yes.
for everybody who's actually going to adopt this kind of characteristic within their own personality this will be very helpful. But one last thing, sir, and that is, I don't know how we're going to justify it, and in the days to follow, I think that it will be there. But eventually, whenever we meet somebody who's actually done an online degree, and whenever we meet somebody who's actually done a degree from a university, the level of respect is very different, and the
We
level,
judge.
it's very different. So when somebody tells me that okay, I've done an online course, what is an online course? Yeah, anybody can do that because you're at home, even if the book is open or the closed, or I don't know how the program is planned, that you can cheat and you can pretend as if you knew everything while you didn't knew anything.
Absolutely. Skills are important.
Yes. So
And meet me again in 2030 and you will see that people graduating today
Yeah,
may
will
not
be-
be at the same level while those who have acquired skills through online or through conventional learning,
Exactly.
they would be doing much better than the degree holders, provided
Right.
they have developed those skills.
So are we trying to say that in days to come we might probably have just online schools or online universities recognized
You
by
cannot
HEC or something
replace
like that?
teachers. Teachers
Okay.
will always be there,
Okay.
and there's a lot that
But obviously
teachers
they'll be giving tutorials on YouTube then, or lectures on YouTube or whatever platform they're on.
see. The skills that World Economic Forum has identified as skills that those are needed in 10 years from now, those require support. Collaboration is a big thing in that, and you cannot develop collaboration skills unless you are guided by your teachers.
Exactly.
Online, machines, digital, those cannot help you in that. So you need to go to school, you need to
Right.
sit together and collaborate.
Thank you,
While
Honorable Rasla.
I mean, I feel like you're saying that schools are never going to go out of date because, of course, no matter how much we digitalize ourselves or
Yeah.
improve ourselves in terms of technology,
But they still want
teacher-
some me time. They still want to send their kids to school.
yeah, but schools and teachers will always be there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
you
very
so
much
much
for
for
that.
sharing your brilliant ideas for the betterment of Pakistan as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, right now we are headed out to a very short break.
Yeah, but there's one more thing I wanted to say, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, that in all of what we were conversing, obviously we want everybody to be up to date and learn whatever you can. It is about skill sets. The top 500 Fortune companies, they collectively actually released an article which said that now we're not looking for people who've done a good
Yeah,
degree.
yeah.
We're looking for people with skill sets. That's important. But there are so many other things which we can do with a skill set,
Okay.
and that skill set can be attained over here in Pakistan by being at work. So the next segment, ladies and gentlemen, is actually going to be that we'll be talking about how do we actually polish our talent to reach a level where it is considered as a skill set.
All right, stay tuned. Good morning. Welcome back to Well this morning, ladies and gentlemen, with the very energetic, passionate, and, well, in a certain mood today, Shahzad Khan. In the first segment, if you missed it, I'll let you know what we talked about. So we spoke about how it's very important for any country, and especially Pakistan, and if we want to, see ourselves rise on the top, we need to digitalize our education system and make facilities available for everyone, regardless of what caste they belong to.
Exactly. Thank you very much for saying that. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I do not really want to misguide your children, but I think that other than education, if you have a talent inside you, you really need to pursue that as your passion.
I agree.
Because these days, I think that a lot of people now do care for people who are into arts, who look after culture, who look after, people with different talents. I mean, somebody who's a good singer, somebody who can walk very well is a model, somebody who's got a good vocal tone can be an RJ as well. And all of these jobs now, these days, can actually help you run your household, because that's what it is all depended on. Because of the fact that that you can earn a lot of money out of these showbiz jobs, or or probably being an anchor, or probably being a model. I think that people are getting into it as well. And then other than that, there's this glamour, there's this fan following, and everybody wants to do it.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
today, ladies and gentlemen, what we have done is that we've actually been joined by some aspiring models over here, who are all over the place as well, because they've been doing ramps, and then they have been a part of serials for PTV. They've started their career from radio, and then they wear so many other designer clothes, so they feel great. So today, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we'll be introducing our guest.
Yeah, let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, with us today in the first place, a model in the making. She's none other Miss Zainab Ali. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
I'm good. What about you?
Absolutely perfect. I think I'm doing great too as well. It's lovely to have you over here on the show today.
Thank you.
And alongside Miss Zainab, ladies and gentlemen, we have actually been joined by somebody who started her career as a radio jockey, did a few serials. She's been modeling for last 3 years now. And what does she aspire to be in the next 3 years? That's
Let's
something which
ask her.
we'll be asking, but she's none other than Miss Ayat Khan. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, how are you?
Hello, good morning, Subha Bakhair.
Subha Bakhair, thank you very
Love
much for
it.
joining
Loving
us.
the energy.
Thank you.
Yes, and it's wonderful to have you. So let's talk about it.
Okay.
For all of those women who are out there, for all of those girls who actually want to be models, do you think that it is a good field to be in?
I think every field is good, You shouldn't differentiate between the things,
Yeah.
Modeling is a good field. You socialize with a lot of different people, and you meet people of different cultures, different values. For example, like if I go to some other countries like UK and all, I meet a lot of people. They are very different. So we can socialize also, and it's a good field, I can say that.
All
Well,
right. So
that's
you
good.
really like the exposure and where that's going
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
Okay.
We got a lot of exposure through modeling.
Okay.
Yep.
What about you?
Basically, I think if you want to join media, if you want to join showbiz, you must be educated, because education refines your personality. If you
Yeah.
are coming without education, or you are not that much familiar what's happening around, then it's mean you are not good for it.
Okay, thank you very much for saying that, but I'm sorry that it might sound very derogatory. But I think if we speak about Meera ji, or if we speak about such amazing superstars, I have a lot of respect for them. They might not be very well educated, but they are our superstars.
Good. They are
so I
good.
think that this is where I'm going to disagree with you, because people who are very talented and they know how to, kind of deliver the talent they have,
talent.
I think that they're on top of this world.
Right,
Do you
absolutely.
think that Lil Wayne or Tiesto and all of these people went to
I don't
school
think
when
they
they
saw
were
school.
yeah,
I don't think.
yeah.
But I think it's good if you are
It is,
educated.
yes.
No,
That
Because
part I do
education
agree.
is actually refinement of personality.
That part I do
Yeah.
agree. But now,
because
ever
if you
since I
talk
was
about around the
you should
world,
have talent for
yeah,
that.
that's fine.
Education
I
is not
agree. I
necessary,
agree with
I
that.
think.
But now, what I need to learn over here is that every now and then we hear that, oh, she walks very amazingly on the
Amazing, she
ramp.
talks,
Her
yeah.
catwalk is so amazing. What is catwalk? I mean, is there any set standard of catwalk that you probably have to put your feet, just right in front of each other? Or how does it work? How does catwalk work?
actually, I think when it's come about competition all over the world, it's really need to be improved in many sectors.
No, it's the style how you walk.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you represent
So that's what we're
yourself.
asking. What's the
Basically,
style?
this is a
Yeah,
field
it's a
of
style,
talent.
Yeah, one by one, please. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Please
This is
go
a
ahead.
field of a talent.
Yeah.
If you are talented, you must join it.
No, but talent needs to be polished at times. Now, I know that I've got a good vocal, but I cannot sing. So I have to learn how to sing for that. So for people who are good looking, are tall, you know, are as pretty as you are, as pretty as you are, as pretty as you are, or as handsome as I am, you know, we need to learn a few things too. You know, so that we polish ourselves and we emerge as a better human every other day and be a good performer. So what is catwalk? I mean, for a person who's actually a model needs to know what is catwalk. What is catwalk?
Exactly. But I think there should be.
But what is catwalk? That's what
So
I'm
I'm trying to make it simpler.
It's the style you walk. It's the style you walk.
Yeah.
You know,
So is
everyone
there a
cannot
certain-
walk like that. Everyone
wearing 6 inches heels. You know?
and everyone cannot walk like that. You know, it's the style. You represent yourself and all that stuff. Like in normal, we walk like straight.
Yeah. Right,
But when we are on the ramp, we walk in like cross shape.
You know, catwalk. Actually, catwalk is related to cat walk.
Yeah.
You know?
All right.
So people come without any training, without any education. Like if there is any modeling agencies, if there is any training agencies in Pakistan, it will be good.
So can you show us how to catwalk?
Yeah.
All right. So
Yes,
so she can take it off. So you know what you can do is just start from there, just go till there, and then come back and then wear the mic again. So you can take off.
Can you drop?
Yeah, it's all right. We're just taking off the mic so that you know she can actually literally show us what catwalks looks like. You know, because I've never ever been to a fashion show. I would love to see it.
Don't
No, I just
lie
don't feel
about
like
it.
you know from there. Yeah, all right. So ladies and gentlemen, this is Ayad and she's a model and she's actually going to teach us how to catwalk. Go ahead.
All right. For people who don't know, this is how we
so
do it.
this is catwalk, ladies
This
and
is
gentlemen.
called.
Yeah, come back in,
And
come back
attitude
in.
on the face, you know.
Yeah. So this is catwalk returning. Wow, that's a return of the catwalk. That's great. Please wear your mic again.
All right.
Wow,
Thank you so
she's
much
on
for doing
point.
that. But here's my question. You know, like you say that, of course, it's a certain style,
Style,
but you have to
you should
train
have that
for it.
attitude, you know, arrogance and that attitude on your face for that.
I get that. But while you were training for it, did you guys have to like learn balancing on the heels with putting your books on your head?
No, it's not like in Pakistan. It happens.
it should be.
It happens.
Such a big heel and walk, you know.
Yeah, it happens like out of the country, you know, not in Pakistan. We don't have agencies over here who teach modeling and all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
so you
we
have
learn
to-
from our like the people who are doing it. You know, we learn from
E-learning.
them.
We have to learn
Yeah.
from our experiences.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so basically you are self-taught.
Yeah, self-taught, and from the experiences of the people who are around us.
All right, that
Yeah.
does make sense. But Ayat, you've been in RJ,
Yeah.
you have been acting and you've been modeling.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite part and why?
I personally want to work for an acting sector.
Okay.
Okay.
The reason is I think I can work better there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm a very good host in live events.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Yeah.
Can we get one of your favorite dialogues like thrown at us in a very like
When
very
I was-
Ayat type of way?
Yeah, when I was a RJ, I start my show like, Assalamu alaikum, good morning Pakistan, Lahore, Karachi, Faisalabad, Quetta, Peshawar, Sakkar, Hyderabad, Sialkot, and of course Multan, जहाँ जहाँ हमारी आवाज़ सुनी जा रही है तमाम लोगों को खुशामदीद कहते हैं और
I like it. That's
I
nice.
work as a voiceover artist too for a Chinese company.
Wow.
Okay.
The number you're trying to the number you're trying to call is not responding at the moment.
So how do we say it in Chinese? Because you were working
No,
for a Chinese
nahi,
company.
they recorded their voice in English. In
all
English.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's great. I think that, you know, ladies and gentlemen, okay, let me be very honest over here. So for all of those people who started doing these little things at a very younger age, have actually groomed themselves to do something big at an age which is obviously bigger than the one they were at before when they were doing these smaller things.
Yeah.
And people who have kept at it, I think, ladies and gentlemen, those are the people who've actually emerged as talented stars. I mean, for example, let's talk about Ali Zafar, who actually used to be in a 5-star hotel making people's portraits, and from there onwards collecting money, you know, producing a song. Then he came to a point where he was producing a film, you know. So I think that people who just keep on going with whatever is inside them and whatever they want to do are the people who emerge to be successful.
Absolutely, that is so true. So ladies, while you both are so brilliant, and I've actually not seen your work as a model, but I'd love to check out their pages as well. But since it's time to wrap up the show, is there anything you need to say to all those girls or boys who inspire to be a model? Aspire?
Yeah,
Aspire, yes.
Yeah. You know, the parents should support their children if they do if they want to do anything in their life, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they should support them.
Because still
Because
our society
many
do not
parents
promote
don't
showbiz.
allow their children to be a model.
Exactly.
Because they
Yeah.
think it's not a good field for girls and all, and people don't talk good about it. But parents should support their girls, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Still,
Yeah.
people think that people from good families do not join showbiz.
Showbiz,
Okay.
So
yeah.
this concept must be changed.
Yes, I agree with that.
If you are capable, if your children is capable, then do promote them.
I think I'm going to change this concept forever for everybody who's out there as well. I do not really care what you think about my family. Whatever I like doing, I will do it.
Oh, nice. I
Yeah,
really
that's
like
it.
that. All right, girls, good. Best of luck for your, all your future endeavors, for your upcoming dramas as well, for your modeling projects as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, today basically we spoke about, this was sort of contradictory as well for us, because in the first segment we spoke about how, of course, education is important, but having a certain degree and following a certain pattern is not really the need of the hour. Skills are what you have to polish.
Exactly.
And then, well, not really contradictory. And we proved that actually in the second segment as well, because these amazing women over here have skills that they themselves polished and now are on the ramp as well in front of you. So, well, for whatever you're dreaming of right now, I really think you should go for it. If this was the sign you're looking for, just go for it.
And ladies and gentlemen, yes, it was partially contradictory, but then it was partially, I think, very coherent too as well, because we were talking about e-learning, and this is what they said as well, that over here we do not have agencies who actually teach you or train you that that this is how you can become a good actor, or this is how you can become a good model. So what they have to do is that they have to see or look for tutorials on YouTube, which once again is e-learning or blended learning as well. So please make sure that you are a part of this new setup in terms of education, in terms of polishing your talent, and yeah, just rise to the level. And to rise to that level, all you need to do is keep at it.
Absolutely. And well, please use your mobile phones other than for education. Write us on our Facebook page with the name of
Well, this morning.
on Twitter,
Well, this morning without a G.
on YouTube,
PTV World.
and the repeat you can catch at
5 past 11 p.m. tonight. Till the next day, 1, 2, 3.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.